delegated Major General Henry Masiko, who is the Joint Staff for Political Commissariat, is going to be giving his message on his behalf. With us also we have Major General Masiko is here. With us also we have Brigadier General Michael Kivuye. He's the Director of Civil Military Cooperation of the Uganda People's Defense Force.
Our hosts, the leadership of the Uganda Media Center, and also thank you, the fraternity of the media. As they have told you, I'm Major General Henry Masiko, the Joint Staff Political Commissar, but also I am a Member of Parliament representing UPDF. I bring you once again greetings from the Chief of Defense Forces. Up to this morning, he had wished to meet you himself, but other state pressing tasks could not enable him meet you. But along the way, he promises he will have an interaction with you. He brings you warm greetings. So I am here to convey his brief. That is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, Chief of Defense Forces and Special Presidential Advisor on Special Operations. His brief about the planned activities of the 45th Tarehe Sita anniversary celebrations to be celebrated in the part of this year, but climaxing in 2026 as it is the tradition. These will be across the country. However, the host region for national events is Kigezi sub-region. Friends and fellow citizens, Tarehe Sita serves as a tribute to the efforts of the founding members of the revolutionary forces, namely the National Resistance Army, later Uganda People's Defense Forces, in advancing a people-led revolution aimed at achieving freedom, democracy as key pillars for socio-economic transformation. Tarehe Sita is a moment to honor and acknowledge the contributions of earlier efforts way back, stretching to the independence nationalist movements, earlier struggles of the pioneers of the contemporary struggle, the University Students African Revolutionary Front of the 1960s, the Front for National Salvation, call it FRONASA, of the 1970s, and the special events of February 6, 1981, which marked the turning point in the people's struggle for liberation. Tarehe Sita is a symbolic day that marks the birth of a People's National Army. It is at the inception of February 6, 1981, and this occasion has always been jointly celebrated by the Army and the people of Uganda as a way of reinforcing the vital bond between the two. This year, into 2026, the focus of the Defense Forces activities and Tarehe Sita celebrations will be hosted in Kigezi sub-region, and it will run under the theme Defending the Gains of the Revolution and Honoring the Sacrifices of the Freedom Fighters, a call for national unity, peace, and socio-economic transformation. This is an acknowledgement of the outstanding contributions of some of the patriots, especially from Kigezi sub-region, towards the epic struggles by Front for National Salvation, the National Resistance Army, and the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Countrymen, the choice of Kigezi sub-region as the main focus of the 45th Tarehe Sita anniversary celebrations is informed by a number of considerations. One, the historic significance of Kigezi, particularly its association with Front for National Salvation activities. Kabale district particularly played a crucial role in the early efforts of the revolutionary struggle. Kigezi region was historically a base for some of the activists of FRONASA, like the Right Honorable Hakana Rugunda, Right Honorable Mama Mbabazi, and some departed activists who, unfortunately, some were executed by the government of Idi Amin Dada, like late Bitwali, late James Karambuzi, late David Kanjire, others also who suffered for their association with the struggle, like the departed Bishop Festo Chivenjere, Bishop Barnabas Hailemana, the others associated in such struggles were Muzei Sheka from Kebison Rukunjiri, late Vilihanze from Kabale town, late Rwaheru, late Karimuzo, who was murdered when he was serving as Vice Chancellor Makerere, late Charles Kasaza, a prominent businessman, late Tumusime, late Rugamba, late Kabagambe, who was murdered when he was a Saza chief, others like late Katugugu, who at various stages paid the ultimate price of their lives. The people of this region stood with the revolution, particularly in the most difficult time of the 70s, and together with the neighborhood of this Kigezi region, which is Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo, are to some extent very well celebrated for enhancing the liberation struggle. Kigezi also, as a sub-region, has over the years been politically stable and fully supporting government programs. As we continue to leap forward, especially into the middle income status, it is crucial to appreciate and consolidate the political and ideological mobilization efforts in the region. Indeed, holding Tarehe Sita in this region will facilitate also the documentation of contributions of a number of the freedom fighters enumerated above. As per the UPDF tradition, the activities planned for the Defense Forces Week 2025-2026 are to be conducted in a spirit that reaffirms the indivisible strategic relationship between UPDF and the people regarded as the masters. On account of a regional rotation policy, we shall have main activities in the 6 districts and 3 municipalities of this region, namely Kabale Municipality, Kabale District, Kisoro Municipality, Kisoro District, Rukunjiri Municipality, Rukunjiri District, Ruchiga District, Rubanda District, and Kanungu District. During this period, a series of activities will include light quick impact construction projects, and the engineer will throw more light, medical outreach programs, Dr. Kano Bakehena will throw more light, some donations, especially to the youth of school-going age. The ladies in uniform also will have outreach programs, and finally, we shall have comprehensive political and civic outreach activities. On such occasions, we remember and appreciate the people-based support which has enabled the UPDF to register success after success. That support has always culminated in defeat of any anti-people forces, stretching back to the major defeat of the dictatorships in this country. Since January 1986, the government of NRM, which heralded a fundamental change, has provided a conducive political climate for democratic institutions to thrive, and thus enabling economic transformation in the country. The particular landmark achievement of having a people-centered, legitimate constitution has transformed the National Resistance Army into the UPDF, and emphasizing that this army is indeed owned and works for the population. Under our command-in-chief, General Yoweri Museveni, Ugandans are decisively marching towards socio-economic transformation as per the Vision 2040, implemented in a 5-year national development plan. Additional efforts crucial to the prosperity and security of the people include our commitment to regional and continental integration, thus ensuring larger and viable African market, and committed also towards eventual federation that guarantees our strategic security as Uganda and Africa. The UPDF has used this opportunity of the Defense Forces Week to appreciate generally the contribution of the population, and we renew our commitment to defending and protecting the people and the country. Throughout the Defense Forces activities, we do reach out not only to our veterans, but all strata of the population. So the interaction which cements harmony, compatibility, and interdependence between ourselves and the civilian population is thoroughly ingrained in this year's theme. This year's Terahesita activities are scheduled to commence slightly earlier than we normally do, because in the month of January, where we normally do more activities, we are cognizant that we shall be going through electoral activities. I wish now to highlight some of the key landmark activities in terms of timelines. As today we we give this brief to the nation, we are also alerting our own units, our own commanders, to commence preparations to celebrate in their areas of responsibility. Commencing tomorrow, 13th, our engineers will move into the region to start on the projects they have identified to give to the community. A big function launching these activities at a national level is slated for next Tuesday, the 18th of November, at the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs and the joint UPDF headquarters Mbuya, starting at 9 in the morning. And definitely, you as our friends, we are extending invitation to you to be present at that grand launch. Thereafter, there will be a session for the media and corporate entities and ministries to discuss how to cooperate into these Tarhesit activities. On 29th November 2025, our teams will especially insert or enter Chigezi sub-regions to commence what we call the army activities. Particularly, there will be political commissars, CIMIC officers, our lawyers, our women personnel, plus the medical team which will enter on 1st December. We have what we call a launch at regional level, which will be in Ikisoro district on the 2nd of December at Saza Playground in Ikisoro municipality. Thereafter, there will be simultaneous district launches on the 3rd December 2025, and activities will go on for 2 weeks in all the districts of Chigezi, but also activities will also be taking place countrywide where our forces are deployed. To note, we shall have another big ceremony in the region on 6th of January to hand over all our constructions to the communities that are going to benefit from these contributions. And of course, the main celebration will be, as usual, celebrated on the 6th of February in Kabale municipality at National Teachers College Kabale main ground. As I conclude, the UPDF salutes all Ugandans and the people of Chigezi sub-region in particular for their unwavering support since the founding days of the struggle to date, even when it has meant paying the ultimate price. The sacrifices have not been in vain. This is the reason why all Ugandans everywhere are invited to come celebrate with the army during these defense forces activities and eventually Tarehesita celebration marking 45 years since the commencement or the founding of UPDF as a people's force. The CDF emphasizes that as an army mandated to protect and defend the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Uganda, we assure the country that this period of electoral exercise will be peaceful and nobody will disturb the peace of the people, and thus allow an environment where every citizen will vote candidates of their own choice. Happy celebrations and a ruta continua for God and my country. Thank you for listening to me. As I did promise, my team of the experts who are going to be participating in different activities will each in 2 minutes add a few of the things they are going to be involved in. And I will start with General Michael Chibuye, who is the Director of Civil Military Cooperation, to highlight what it means to engage in civil military cooperation as an army. Michael, you are most welcome.
The Joint Staff Political Commissariat intends to conduct political mobilization programs in the Kigezi region. And this program will be conducted in a series of days, and they include ideological orientation seminars for youth leaders from the sub-region, ideological seminars for religious leaders, and veterans will also be conducted in the same region. Barazas and radio talk shows will be conducted by key leaders, generals, senior and junior officers operating in every district. Community engagement will be held in the selected areas, aiming at sensitizing the high number of youth, women, and elders who are part of the electoral. The departments of historical sites, monuments, and diarists shall research on the sources of military history to record their experiences during the struggle for peace, security, and democracy. And also invitations will be extended to the corporates, government agencies, media officials, UPDF retired generals, senior officers, and key leaders from the sub-region. With respect to CIMIC, which I head, there will be strengthening of good relationship with the people of the region. We shall do cleaning activities to selected places of the communities. We shall plant trees in also selected areas of the district for purposes of environmental security. We shall conduct key engagements with the district officials and leaders. And also, there will be memorable activities to be conducted to appreciate the FRONASA, as you heard the general talk about the contribution of the region. It had FRONASA, NRA, and UPDF supporters during the liberation struggle. We shall also be able to conduct and coordinate donations from the corporates. You heard him talk about corporates and other agencies. I'm now also going to talk about the Department of Formal Education, Sports and Culture. The Formal Education, Sports and Culture will support schools that are equally selected but very vulnerable with the following items: scholastic materials for pupils and students. There will be cultural entertainments from cultural troops. We shall organize sports and games competitions. At the end of the day, the winner will take a cow or a goat. And we shall also organize debate competitions with students from selected secondary schools. That's all from me, and at this juncture I would like to invite Colonel Dr. Bakehena, who will talk about the medical issues, and thereafter there will come Major Engineer who will talk about the engineering construction projects. However, to note is that all these projects are of CIMIC in nature. I thank you. Colonel.
Good morning, members of Force Estate. My name is Colonel Dr. Francis Xavier Bakehena. I head the Department of Public Health in the Uganda People's Defense Forces, and I'm the coordinator of all the medical services that we are going to carry out in the region during our Tare Sita and Defense Forces Week activities. Normally, over the years, during our birthday, we normally give back to the people in terms of the projects the Joint Staff Political Commissariat has enumerated, but mainly from our part, we give back to the people by providing them with all the necessary and needed health care that is prevailing in the region, especially in terms of surgeries and medical services. For particularly Chigezi, we are going to have both surgery camps and medical camps. Surgery camps will be located in 2 places in each district. And also we shall have another medical camp also situated in 2 places in the district. These are called static camps. Then we'll also have other mobile medical camps that will move throughout the districts to provide the necessary medical services in the whole region. We are going to cover all the 6 districts in the Chigezi region. But in particular, we are going to concentrate on the conditions that are prevailing in the region in terms of care, and also will provide dental services, eye and optical care. We'll give out glasses, specs for all people who are no longer reading properly. We shall also have vector control activities, fighting all the vectors and vermin that cause diseases in the region, including mosquitoes, bats, or any other vector that bring or cause diseases. We also have health education and promotion in the region. Our film vans will move all through the region, conducting health education and promotion, advising the communities of what to do and what not to do in order to prevent conditions that are prevailing in the region. We also have some donations of mattresses in various health centers that are deficient, and also delivery beds for especially for mothers. As we did our rec, we found out there are some areas, some health facilities that need support in terms of maternity, where mothers were even delivering from the ground, but we will support them. In so many towns, especially in these municipalities, the commissariat has highlighted there are youth that are engaged in drugs and other becoming behaviors. We'll have our counselors who will go in and counsel these youth and other people so that they can change their behaviors. I'm going to highlight for those who come from, all those who will go to Chigezi. In Chisoro, we'll have 2 centers for static surgical and medical camp at Chisoro General Hospital and Chahafi Health Center 4, that is Chisoro. In Rwanda, we'll have Hamurwa Health Center 4 and Muko General Hospital. In Ruchiga, in Kabare, we'll have Rubaya Health Center 4 and Kamuchira Health Center 4. In Ruchiga district, we'll have Mparo Health Center 4 and Kamwezi Health Center 4. In Kanungu, we'll have Kanungu Health Center 4 and Chinchizi Health Center 4. And Rukunjiri shall be at Bugangali and Kempson Health Center 4. These will be our main camps for both static, surgical and medical camps. But other camps will be in other 4 areas or health centers in the district. For dental, eye, optical, TB, HIV, AIDS, circumcisions, and non-communicable disease screening, we'll also have their programs that will be scattered throughout the 6 districts in the region. Briefly, that is our program, and we shall insert on 1st December and extract on 15th December, taking the 2 weeks in the region. Thank you, and you're welcome. If you happen to be in Kigezi, come for treatment also. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is Albert Kamayevare, Major. I'm the Brigade Operations and Training Officer of the Engineers Brigade. I'm here to represent the Joint Staff, engineers, and I bring you warm greetings from the Engineering Brigade Headquarters in Lugazi. I bring you warm regards from the Joint Staff, Colonel Architect James Regaba. I bring you warm regards from the Commander, Colonel Engineer Chabo Namdongo, and the Deputy Commander, Major Engineer Ogwang. Afande, you allow me, I would like to mention that the engineering projects for this Tare Sita will be spread in 6 districts and the 3 municipalities of Kigezi. And these projects have been carefully selected under the guidance of the district leaders, under the guidance of the Defense Organizing Committee and the strategic leadership at Mbuya headquarters. But most importantly, we've been looking for the impact of the projects we're going to put in Kigezi, and zeroing on the areas of human capacity development. Thereby, we're focusing on education and health. We're looking for projects that will take a short time. As Afande mentioned before, our projects are beginning tomorrow, and we're supposed to be completed by the 6th of January next year. So we're looking for projects that will take a short time. Of course, cost is a constraint. We're looking for projects that we can afford, and we did our best to equitably divide or distribute these projects amongst all the districts and the municipalities of Kigezi. The project types we zeroed on thereafter we did market stalls, recreation grounds, schools, health facilities, critical infrastructures like bridges and accommodation facilities. And all these projects
Thank you so much for the brief. The respective persons who have already given the brief. Important for us to note is that these activities that we are going to do, the services that we are going to offer, is not going to be a replacement of the services that are already provided by the government, but it's symbolic. It's a symbolic activity that we are going to do so as to bond with the people, being a people's army. But also for this specific Tare Sita, we decided to construct new items. Will not be like in the past. We used to renovate some houses and some health center. This time, the facilities that we are taking on ground are going to be new. At this juncture, maybe I would invite again the Joint Staff Political Commissar to come and maybe answer 1 or 3 questions before we call it a day. You're welcome, sir.
Hello, Afalobo. We are starting with this gentleman here.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, UPDF. My name is Grace Seginya from Salt Media. I have only 3 questions for you.
Grace,
Yes,
from which media?
Salt Media, Salt TV, Salt FM.
Okay.
The first question is, we are seeing these celebrations. They are going to be going on for a full month. And from what I've heard, there are some budget constraints. Constructing classrooms, planting trees. We are seeing a very huge budget you're putting on behalf of taxpayer. There are veterans who fought for this country. We have engaged them. They have never benefited. Some of them, they have passed away without getting any benefit from the services they render to this country. As a force, what is the way forward? They're having children. Some of them cannot even afford the basic education. This is a very huge budget. What are you planning for these people? Second, by the end of last week, we recorded 19 cases in Kasese, people that have been slaughtered by machete. Up to now, we had the families still bending to get their bodies buried. There is no specific report. The State Minister for Defense said he will be coming up with investigations. We need to know this time around, who are these people behind these killings? How is it an influx of ADF? Is it a continuation of the other incident of Mumbere? What is the way forward? Finally, UPDF has been seen in so many activities. You are into construction. We saw you during the construction of Nambole. We saw you, actually at one point we saw doctors demonstrating. There was another minute that you were coming into medication. You are supposed to be treating patients. You are now into production of water. Aren't you overstretched over your mandate of protecting this country that now you are into other businesses? Are you going to see senior officers being compromised into money scandals? Thank you.
Okay. Answer that. Okay, Grace, you've given us a mouthful, but let me start with your last comment, stroke question. Is you going beyond its mandate? You as members of the media, you need to familiarize with the Constitution especially. Uganda People's Defense Forces is provided for in the National Constitution, 1995 Constitution as amended, Article 208, 209. If you search your records on phone, 208 provides for a people's force and its character, but Article 209 provides for the functions of UPDF. And when you look at those functions, there are 4. Number 1, defending sovereignty and territorial integrity. Number 2, participating or cooperating with civilian authority in cases of emergencies and any disasters. Number 3, fostering harmony and understanding between ourselves and the population. And number 4, participating in productive activities for the development of the country. So when you look at those 4 areas of our mandate, it would be not fulfilling our mandate if we are not doing all those things you are accusing us of doing. So you are accusing us of doing the right things according to our mandate given to us by the National Constitution. On the issue of the incident of a few weeks ago, it's correct you are saying you have already been promised an investigation. So I would think Ugandans should wait for the outcome of that investigation so that you are fed on facts, not speculation. However, what should be comforting Ugandans is that that incident did not escalate. It could have been worse if we were not a force that has capability to continuously protect and defend our territorial integrity. What you should be assured is that this case did not go beyond being an incident. The rest, as you have clearly also reported, will come out when there is a full investigation. Tarehe sita costs versus compensating veterans. As Colonel Obo told you, we don't have an extra budget. What happens characteristic of us as UPDF, we always sacrifice. These medical people have an ordinary budget for our medical services. But because we exercise transparency and frugality, what we don't use is what we share as our birthday gift to the population that has always. So there is no special budget for Tarehe Sita as such. The engineers are touching the budget they should ordinarily be using on us. But we say, what gift should we give our population? Let's share by making a contribution to some community impactful projects. Now, on the issue of veterans, and I want to use this media space to assure veterans that their situation has been improved greatly with the passing of the amended UPDF Act. All the problems that they were being faced due to legal constraints have been addressed by that amendment. As we talk, many of the veterans whose compensation had been unfair, those especially who were retired or reduced in the early 1990s, their plight has been addressed. And our lawyers whom I talked about, who are going to be in the field, are going to be explaining the enhanced compensation procedures and amounts to the veterans. I must tell you that veterans are really smiling all the way now in the villages because their plight has been properly addressed. And those who still have constraints during these activities of Tarehe Sita, we shall explain to them to know what to do, because sometimes they need to do certain things to put their records right so that they are compensated. So I want to assure you, Grace, we are not suffocating the budget of compensating our veterans and pensioners.
Thank you. My name is Abakar Dua. I'm from the Daily Monitor. General, we understand before we go for Tahesta, there are soldiers who are still under arrest. One of them is General Birungi, and he has never been taken to court because we understand he was arrested and everything. But is that how UPDF treats their people without trial? And then the other thing you talked about, the theme of Tahesta this year, which is almost similar to the National Resistance Movement's theme of the campaign, protecting the gains. And the theme of UPDF is almost the same, protecting the gains of UPDF. What's the difference between the UPDF of the people and then the ruling party, the NRM? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rubowa. Mr. Rubowa, Daily Monitor. Where are you? Daily Monitor, isn't it still a running paper? The theme actually rhymes more with our mandate. When you recollect what I have just told you, the mandate of UPDF is protecting and defending the sovereignty and the country. So we are really not talking something extraordinary. We are only honoring the sacrifices of those who made contribution through the successive phases of our liberation struggle. So if there is any coincidence that the National Resistance Movement, which has organic linkages with the People's Army, because as you know, the commander-in-chief is the leader of the National Resistance Movement. So his thinking, you can't say he brings one head for NRM and another head for commander-in-chief. So if the thinking, the doctrine seems to rhyme, I think it's a coincidence of history, and it shouldn't really give you answers. You should just, it's a fact. Now, the issue of personnel in the UPDF who face disciplinary measures is our routine. One of the things, the strength of UPDF is strict adherence to discipline. And actually, the current leadership and our current CDF is going back to the roots to ensure nothing tints the time-tested discipline of UPDF. However, what you may have been hearing in rumors is delay in dispensing justice because people who I think took us to court or something. There was a Supreme Court ruling which really has paralyzed our justice system as a force. You know, worldwide, armies have a different justice system. They call it martial law, and we are not exceptional. Now, Ugandans who are very interesting, they interfered with it and we are law-abiding. The chiefs, I mean these big people in the Supreme Court made a ruling, and we are waiting now, since the law was amended, our system is being restructured. And as soon as it is properly instituted, our justice system will run smoothly. So don't worry. For us, the most important thing and the bottom line is discipline, discipline, discipline.
Okay, thank you so much, Afande.
It is that gentleman. He's from where it seems you are suspecting him.
Yes, good morning, Afande. I'm called Mulangira Dembeyona from a Reporter News, which is online, and on Owino newspaper. I have got two questions for you, but the first one is a small clarification. You didn't give us the exact date of when the Terehesita event is going to happen. Then my second concern is, when the Katikkiro of Buganda was addressing yesterday the people at the Kingdom headquarters, he had this to say, that whenever we are heading to elections and after elections, we have incidents of Vijambia all over the country. So he expressed that concern yesterday and was saying what could be the major reason before and after elections. In this period between before and after elections, do these Vijambia men be asleep? So he was wondering the Katikkiro. Now, since in your statement on behalf of the CDF, you said that we should rest assured that the security, we are going to work upon it. Please you also address on that matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The timelines we've started. Today we are alerting all our units to begin preparations. On 18th, Tuesday, is the national launch at Mbuya. I think you came in late. At Mbuya, headquarters starting at 9 a.m. We expect the Command-in-Chief may be there to launch the activities. Then in the region, on 29th of November, our teams will go, especially in the region hosting the national events, Chigezi, 29th November, with the regional launch in Kisoro on 2nd December, and all other district launches on 3rd of December. And activities will go on at a peak of 2 weeks. Our engineers will remain in the field starting tomorrow up to the 6th of January. Then we shall, as you know now, a series of elections will commence, and we wouldn't want to be interfering with that period. We shall then go back after elections, because whichever way the elections go, this government will still be in power until May next year, 12th. So we still plan our calendar, and on 6th February, we shall celebrate at Kabale National Teachers College the Terehesita National Day. I hope that makes Mr. Mulangira at peace. Now, I am not privy to the press conference of the Prime Minister of Uganda, so I don't know whether you are telling me exactly what he said. If I had a record, I would comfortably comment. But we are really careful people. For us, we don't engage in speculation. So if you heard him, you go and ask what he meant exactly. But if I get the statement, then I would be competent. But I can comment on what CDF has continuously promised the country. Our role in election period is to ensure that our people participate in the elections both before, during, and after in peace. That one we don't mince our words. Anybody who wants to experiment, it's up to that person. For us, we are steadfast in ensuring that we deliver a peaceful election where our people will exercise their right with no intimidation whatsoever.
One more question.
Thank you so much. From a lady. Sorry, if we don't have a lady, can you give a chance to Monge or Senior Baguma? Baguma. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I am Henry Baguma, UBC. At celebrations, always people account for their achievements. So, sir, I'd like to understand what have been your achievements, major achievements over the past 45 years as UPDF. Thank you.
That's very good observation, Ndugu Baguma. One main, from what I could summarize as our milestone and a glorious achievement, is that as a people's force, since we became a national army after 1986, we've kept Uganda in one piece. And when I say this, some of you may think it's just what do you mean? But you know of countries which have broken up. But Uganda is in one piece. And we have, through our growth and development, improving our capability, being able now to ensure that there is peace from any corner of the country you would want to think about. The notorious area in Uganda, which was full of criminal activities like Karamoja, has been pacified. We have ensured that the people of Karamoja now are law-abiding and they are no longer causing instability in the neighborhood. However, you also know that we have made tremendous contribution to the security and stability of the region. In terms of professionalization and modernization, we have enormous achievements. And during the celebration along the way, Colonel Henry and his team will be showing you some of the documentaries. And I am sure Henry Baguma is aware. You will see how far UPDF has gone. And now, not only a pride to the country, but a pride on the African scene, a pride also globally. I must tell you, every week we receive delegation of military students coming to benchmark how we have made it. So I can't really fail to drum up our own trumpet through our strategic mentorship and leadership of our command-in-chief. We've become a force that is a pride for the country. And these achievements will be documented, have been documented and will be shared as we celebrate. Thank you, the members of the press, and I will allow Henry to give a few highlights in Kiswahili. You are very proficient in Kiswahili, and let me see who is competent in Uganda. We are Abana-Uganda, mbadde wano nze Major General Henry Masiko okuleta obubaka obwa Chief of Defence Forces nga yanjulira eggwanga emikolo n'okujaguza okw'emyaka 45 kuva eggye lyaffe ery'abantu litondebwawo. Omwaka guno emikolo eno ejja kubeera mu ggwanga lyonna, kyokka ey'eggwanga ejja kujagulizibwa mu kitundu eky'Ekigezi mu disitulikiti 6: Kabale, Rukunjiri, Kanungu, Kisoro, Rubanda ne Rukunjiri ne Rukiga. Ebintu bye tugenderera kubanga tugenze mu kitundu ekyo bikulu nnyo kubanga Kigezi kitundu kimu mu byafaayo bya olutalo olw'okuleetawo eggye lyaffe. Ekitundu ekyo kyalina abazira abamu ne batuuka okutibwa. Abazira bakyaliwo ng'omukulu Ruhakana Rugunda, omukulu Amama Mbabazi n'abantu abalala batonotono, kyokka bamu baatibwa. Waliwo ekikangabwe kyaliwo mu 73 abasajja 3 ne bakubibwa amasasi mu Lwatu mu kisaawe e Kabaale. Eyo twalina elunaku olwo baata omukulu Bitwali, omukulu Kalambuzi omuyizi omu yali ayitwa Kagoro Kanjire. Kyokka n'abangi abava mu kitundu ekyo abaatibwa mu lutabaalo luno olw'okwenunula, ng'omukulu Kalimuzo yali vice chancellor w'e Makerere yabuzibwawo, nakati ab'enju ye tebalabangako entaana ye. Waliwo Kabagambe yali ow'essaza mu Kisoro eyo, naye yabuzibwawo, entaana ye terabangako. So Kigezi ekitundu kimu ekirina abazira abalwana ate n'abaafiirira eggwanga lyabwe. Kigezi kyekitundu ekimu ekitali mbeera nnyo kubeera n'obutabanguko. Kitundu kya mirembe ate bawagira nnyo gavumenti ne programu zebeeteesewo. Ate tubadde tumaze ebbanga nga tetujaguza n'abantu b'ekitundu ekyo. So omwaka guno amagye gagenda kujaguza amazaalibwa gaffe ge tuyita tarehe 6 ge tujaguza ennaku 6 Gwokubiri buli mwaka. Ekirala bwe tuba tujaguza tulina bye tuwaayo bitonotono nga tutoola ku katono ke tulina mu budget. Akatono ako kagenda mu kujanjaba abantu baffe, kagenda mu kuzimba ebikwatagana n'amasomero n'amadwaliro n'ebintu ebitonotono ebiyamba omuntu owa bulijjo. Ekirala tubeerayo abasirikale baffe ne babeera n'abantu, tuzanya nabo emizannyo, tubayigiriza kubanga naffe waliwo bye tumanyi ng'abantu baffe tebabimanyi. Ate constitution etukakatako okulaba nti tubeerawo n'enkolagana n'omuntu owa bulijjo, weewaawo tumuyigirize byaba tategeera ebigenda mu maaso. So n'olwekyo tukubiriza Abannayuganda kutwegatako kulaba nti tujaguliza wamu nga bulijjo, nga tujjukira emyaka 45 kuva eggye lyaffe ery'abantu lizaalibwa. So ffe mu kujaguza amazaalibwa gaffe tuwaayo kyekikulu ku tarehe 6. Mwebale nnyo okumpuliriza, katubendeze obulungi ng'eggwanga. Ate mu bubaka bwa CDF akakasiza eggwanga nti ffe ng'eggye ery'abantu tujja kubeerawo okulaba nti n'akaseera kano ak'okulonda abantu balonda mu mirembe. Mwebale nnyo okumpuliriza. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Just for purpose of re-emphasis, I would like to add on to the first question that we received about the plight of the veterans, and to be more specific, as Afanda has already said, they are now smiling. They have been recognized. The new law, the UPDF Amendment Act, has been so much to their advantage, to the extent like, for example, first is now the veterans, as they retire, they receive their pensions, their monthly pensions, but after 15 years, after retirement, they start receiving full payment, full salary. And that is updated to the current salary scale of the UPDF. And related to that also, we are aware that some of our comrades that contributed to the peace that we enjoy now, those veterans, by the time they left, at the time when they retired, like saying in 1990, the salary was quite small, and to that effect, their take-home in terms of pension was so small to extent that somewhere like 28,000 shillings and so on. But this has been addressed, and effective this financial year, their pensions have been enhanced, equivalent to those who have retired this same financial year. And that is catered for in the law. But also now they are entitled to free medical care, much as what we who are serving are entitled to. So these are some of the benefits that we need to bring forward. Health services, enhancement in their pensions, but also prompt pay. Yes, there are some challenges still in terms of some backlogs, but all those are now being addressed in accordance to the law. But also, just to add on the issue of electoral security, many questions have been coming. Why does the UPDF involve? We are aware that the law allows us to give support to the Uganda Police Force, but also you are aware that even if all the Uganda Police Forces, including the IGP, was deployed now to the polling stations, you'll find that the number of polling stations outweigh the Uganda Police Force personnel. So it's inevitable that the UPDF will come in to give support to the Uganda Police Force so that we have peaceful election. But as the Uganda Coast Defense Force, while giving support to the Uganda Police Force to ensure electoral security, we call upon our citizens to abide by the Electoral Commission's guidelines. For example, in our part, for example, the advice, like say, when you finish voting, please, you go home and then you wait for the time for the announcements of the results or the time for counting of it. That's when you could go back, other than crowding the polling stations and becoming a security threat to other citizens or trying to intimidate others at the polling station. So with that, I would like to thank you so much. Afande say we do it in Swahili. There are few stations that run it in Swahili, and they have requested we have something separate so as we can allow the others to move forward with their news. Thank you so much. We would like to urge you to continue informing our public on the Tarehe Sita. It's going on until 6th of February when we shall have the celebration. But also after the celebration of 6th of February, we shall have a Thanksgiving, of which most times we have or always we have the press invited. Asante sana for your matek.
Tayari uno wali. You can go to podium.
In terms of some administrative announcement, please don't run before you see the gentleman in the Kaunda suit there. Thank you so much for a cup of tea.
Where is he? Abanya-Uganda turi hano media center kuleta ubutumwa ukuruga ha mudumizi mukuru owamahe General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, kandi ubwe ararangirira kutandika ku mikoro y'amahe yeretwa Tarehe Sita yo kwijuka emyaka 85 kwiha eihe eri rizarwa. Tarehe Sita n'ekintu kikuru kwiha 81 tukataho enkora kureba ngo twaguma turejuka izoba ry'ebiro mukago kwa kabiri obu kabamba yaterwa kandi urutaro urwahagirwa abantu rukatandika. So tarehe 6 turagikora kuguma turanyweza nareshi turejuka umukago hagati y'abantu n'amahegabo. Omwaka ogu turi ku omukoro ogw'ihanga guraza kuba mu kicweke cya Kigezi mu district Mukaga, Soro, Kabare, Kanungu, Rukunjiri, Rukiga na Rubanda. So erizoba turi kurangirira ku emikorejo eri kuza kutandika mu butongore kandi obwe turaza kuba ebintu bingi birakorerwa muri Kigezi. Kigezi tugitoreine nko kicweka kimwe ekine byafayo bingi ahantaro ezenyima kurwanisa amini kurwanisa enkorambi ya government ezashishire ihangeri kandi twatwine mu amamanzi abamwe abariho abatandikire encourage ko kutandika hekibinja cha Front for National Salvation umuri abantu karuhakana Rugunda, abantu nka Mama Mbabazi n'abandi abamwe abatatunjiro mugisha abaherize bakeyitwa mu rutabaroru nkaba umugenzi Bitwari, umugenzi biri hanze, umugenzi Karambuzi, umugenzi Kanjire David n'abandi benji abafire nabo mu ebirebe bibi nko mukuru Karimuzo, mukuru Kabagambe owa Kisoro n'abandi benji. Turaba turijukaba kandi turamanya munamamanzi ga Kigezi. So emikoro eji eri kutandika mu bwijwire na okurangirira n'umukoro muhango guri Mbuya 2018 urwa kabire sandereje. Rero twarugaho tutware okutandika emikoreji mu Kigezi obwe turatandikira Soro Heishaza niho regional launch eraze kuba kandi turatekereza ngo vice president araza kuba yo Kisoro mwena ba Kisoro mwije kuba nawe ebiro bibire byo kwa 12. Ebinte bimwe binje biraza gukorwa twaheza gukora za district launches ebiro bishatu ku 12 ne bimwe ba engineer beitu barugirokwe ebibatoreine kombeka mu bicweke bitari bimwe. Abashaho beitu baraza kutandika kujanja abantu mu bicweka bya Kigezi yona okukibanza oku 12 nahabwecho turi kuba nkebi tukoraga burijo konka abanyakigezi nibo turaza kuba turakwatanisa nabo mu muringo gutari gwa burijo kwenda ngo tuhise kitinisa emyaka 45 eya amahe agabantu mwe bari munonga.
Twasemererwa afande we bari munonga. Afande, we shall have a group picture here. Anayagambe bunyankorero.